I would say all of my symptoms started back when I was about 14, maybe 15. I was grooming our family cat and I got bit by him. I ended up having to have emergency hand surgery. And then for about 6 weeks, I had antibiotics pumped through a pump line or a PICC line going into my heart to avoid infection. And that's when all of my symptoms, I would say, actually really started. Like, they told me that, diarrhea was normal with antibiotics. So I was like, okay, this is the new normal. And then I lived with it. And then time progressed and things started getting worse. I started getting diagnosed with different things like depression, bipolar. Um, and that continued on for years up until about 2 years ago when my symptoms got so unbearable that I just couldn't handle it. I was always in pain, joint pain at random times for no reason, gut pain always, brain fog, zero energy, always sleeping. 16 hours of sleep wasn't ever enough. And she was actually a really good doctor. She tested me for celiac disease based upon my symptoms, and that came back positive. She told me to quit eating gluten and just, that was it for life. I still felt horrible for months after that, and I started doing research because who wants to continue to feel horrible after a diagnosis? So I continued my research and came across Hashimoto's, and Hashimoto's matched all of my symptoms that I was having. So I had her test me for that. She didn't want to at first. She didn't believe that I had it. She didn't think that based off of my thyroid levels that they'd taken before that I'd had it. So I begged her and she finally did it. And when she called, she said, I'm so sorry, but you do have Hashimoto's. And I was like, so what do I do for my symptoms? She said, well, since your thyroid levels aren't bad, we can't do anything for you. Find a functional doctor or Chinese medicine. And that's when I found you. When I first heard celiac disease and that there was no cure, it freaked me out. And, I was reassured that eating a gluten-free diet would help me. And then I was like, oh no, what about my life? Like, convenience is everywhere, gluten is everywhere. How am I going to live like this? Like, what am I to do? And I knew I had to do it though to feel better. But not having a cure was, I think, the scariest thing to hear was there's no cure.
Yeah.
So as far as joint pain goes, like mine was always in my hands, in my wrists. I knew when I was really hurting, it was always in the same hand. Sometimes it was the other hand randomly, but it was predominantly my left hand that I would always feel pain in, which was weird because that wasn't the hand that I got bit in.
Yeah.
And then like another thing that was kind of really weird joint pain wise, or if you even want to say muscle pain wise, like my upper thighs would feel like they were on fire around my menstrual time of the month or my period time of the month, and that it never made sense. I went to the hospital for it once and the doctor was like, you're making it up, and I was like, no, I'm in legitimate pain. And so we just wrote that off. We were like, okay, well, I guess it's normal because I'm being told it's no big deal. So I lived with it. Brain fog, like not even remembering what I did 10 minutes ago, brain fog. It was really bad. Like, why did I drive here? Why am I, what am I walking in this room for? Why did I come out here? What am I doing in this corner of the room? Like, just crazy brain fog. Just waking up in a haze, waking up like just feeling like my head is spinning, basically waking up with a hangover without the beverages. More of an open mind going into it, not hearing of functional medicine until my Western medicine doctor had mentioned it. I was like, I mean, what's the difference? If there's no cure, there's no cure. I just need to eat gluten free. But learning that there's more to an autoimmune disease than just eat gluten free was more hopeful. After I started noticing, like, even just small changes, feeling small changes was addicting. And then wanting more of feeling better, it it was like, okay, what can I do more for myself? How can I continue to achieve this feeling, because I'm starting to feel more like what life should feel like. And it was my bowel movements. I thought
Yeah.
because I was traveling that my bowel movements were better, and no, I came back from traveling that next week and it was so consistent. I was so amazed because it hadn't been consistent since I was 16. I'm now 29. I calculated I lost 62 pounds in this whole journey. Phenomenal.
I'll have to put up your picture if that's okay.
Go for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. You
Thank
can see a huge difference. It's crazy. It's insane.
you. You look amazing.
Even looking back 2 months ago, I'm still continuing to lose the weight that I've never been able to lose. So, I mean,
So I guess if there's anybody watching this or listening to this that is in that pickle and they are looking for solutions and they are starting to lose hope, what would you tell them?
I would definitely tell them there is hope. There's a lot of hope out there. Once you start looking into it, you start figuring out more and more. I think what a lot of people do is they just live with the normal, and that's it. They just accept it for what it is, and that is something that we should never accept, is feeling bad. There's a life that you never knew you had before the life that you have. So try to find that life.